Luxury brands don't sell the product first. They sell the craving. By the time someone asks to buy the bag, the wanting has already been designed. Most products try to remove friction. Luxury often does the opposite. This video explains why luxury brands don't just sell products, they build the world that makes those products feel worth chasing. The hidden mechanism is not one trick, it is a system. The object matters, but the story around it, the access to it, the service around it, and the people seen with it all matter too. The first layer is simple. Luxury often starts before the customer ever touches the product. A regular product says, here's the thing. A luxury product says, here is a world you might be allowed to enter. That changes the psychology. The customer is not just comparing materials, they are reading signals. Is this rare? Is this recognized by the right people? Does this say something about taste, access, or status? And this is where luxury becomes very different from ordinary marketing. The second layer is controlled friction. Wait lists, private appointments, limited access, and in-store only availability are not always failures of supply. They can become part of the product itself, because when a purchase becomes harder, the meaning of the purchase changes. It stops feeling like something you simply buy. It starts feeling like something you have to qualify for. That is why the closed door matters. It creates a boundary. The boundary tells the customer, this is not for everyone. And the moment something is not for everyone, it can become more desirable to the people who want to feel different. But scarcity alone is not enough. If something is hard to get, but nobody believes it has value, scarcity becomes annoying, not luxurious. That is why the third layer is legitimacy. Quality, craftsmanship, and creativity. The research brief points to a reset in luxury. Customers are becoming more selective, and brands are being pushed back toward product, craft, service, and trust. After years, when much of the growth came from price increases, the value proposition started to feel weaker. The research brief notes that from 2019 to 2003, more than 80% of growth in personal luxury came from price increases, not just more volume. That creates a problem. Price can make something feel elevated, but price alone cannot protect desire forever. If the craft feels weak, if the service feels ordinary, or if the design feels lazy, the spell begins to break. For the wealthiest customers, the brief points to quality, craftsmanship, store service, and creativity as major reasons to buy more from a brand. So the strongest luxury desire is not just higher price. It is higher price made believable. So desire cannot only be hype. It has to feel deserved. This is the part many lazy explanations miss. Luxury is not just brainwashing people into wanting expensive things. The desire becomes stronger when the customer can believe there is something real underneath the aura. The fourth layer is service theater. In ordinary retail, service is supposed to be efficient. In luxury, service often becomes ceremonial. The silence, the space, the appointment, the careful wrapping, all of it tells the customer that this moment is not normal. The product is being elevated before it is even used. And that matters because luxury is not only about owning, it is about being treated as someone who belongs. A strong luxury experience turns the purchase into a memory. The memory then becomes part of what the customer thinks they paid for. The fifth layer is social proof. A luxury brand rarely has to say, important people want this. It only has to make that belief visible. When the right people are seen wanting access, the access itself becomes more valuable. This is why luxury desire spreads through signals. The signal might be loud, like a visible logo, or it might be quiet, understood only by people who know what they're looking at. Either way, the object is doing social work. To one person, it may look like a simple item. To another, it reads like a password. Social proof does not need to be loud. Sometimes it is enough to know that a certain group already understands the object. That is why some luxury signs become more powerful when fewer people can read them. The point is not always to impress everyone. Sometimes the point is to be recognized by the few people who matter to the buyer. And that leads to the main twist. In luxury, the product is not always the product. The product is the visible receipt for something larger: access, taste, recognition, and separation from the crowd. People may think they are paying for the bag, the watch, or the jacket, but psychologically, they may also be paying for the feeling of being let in. The object becomes proof. Proof that you recognize the code, proof that you waited, proof that you had access, proof that the system accepted you. That is why the craving is designed across the entire journey. The store, the story, the friction, the service, the scarcity, and the social proof all push in the same direction. By the time the customer finally buys, the brand has already made the purchase feel like a conclusion. That is the hidden why behind luxury desire. The strongest luxury brands do not just make expensive things. They make the chance to buy the thing feel like a privilege. And once buying feels like being chosen, desire no longer needs to be shouted. It has already been built.